welcome to another episode of Storytime Saturday. This has been, look, I see my cross up there. There's another story for another day. But this has been probably a couple weeks coming now. Um, yeah, about a couple weeks coming now, and excuse me, I talked a little bit about my college experience with my now ex-husband, 'cause he was my college sweetheart, um, and how I even got into college, all of those things. But I didn't necessarily talk about my full college experience of being a 17-year-old on a college campus for the first time, being away from home. I wasn't very sheltered, but my mom was very overprotective. I did get out and do a little stuff in high school, some knowingly to my parents, most unknowingly. Um, but being on a college campus was a completely different experience without my parents being there to, watch my every move or have to answer them coming in and out. And then, like I said, I went off to college a year early. It would have been earlier than that, but my mom didn't allow them to put me up to where they wanted to when I was in school because she didn't feel like I was too young to be around high school students at the time. So, but before I go into that, I just want to say thank you so much to all the new followers. Thank you so much to those that have been liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all the things. For those that entered the giveaway, I did pick the giveaway winner. I will send an email with what your gift is. I have my VA send it probably Monday. Um, but I already notified her because I was so excited. This is my first giveaway of many. We're almost at 60 subscribers, and we literally just let me close all this stuff out on my computer. But we literally just hit 50, so we're about to be at 60, and I'm super excited for all of the new followers. Yeah, today's been a pretty good day. It's been a chill day. Today is Saturday, my Sabbath. That's why it is Storytime Saturday after dark, because Saturdays are my Sabbath, and I don't do anything until after dark. I do a lot of resting, chilling, relaxing, all of those things, and do a lot of self-care. I did a face mask today. I did a whole body exfoliation, so if I'm glowing, that is why. But it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day today. So far it's only 5:40. My kids are napping. Yesterday's Freedom Fridays was interesting because all my kids are in here. Um, but back to the story. If you know me, you know my stories. I will talk about this over here, that over there, this over there, that over there, and that's just how my manifesting generator brain works. Okay, so just follow along or not. But um, so I was in the honors program when I got into college. So being in an honors program, it was a very rigorous program. We had different projects, different programs that we had to do outside of our coursework, be in attendance to different meetings with the honors program. It was a challenging program, but it taught me a lot about myself, but it also taught me a lot about not wanting to be a perfectionist. I was used to being on the honor roll, getting straight A's, like those types of things, like all A's, one B, like those types of things. So anything below a B was like traumatizing for me. And I also would get in trouble for that. So For me, being in college, it was completely different, of course, because I had to keep up with my schedule. It wasn't like back to back classes. There was no bell to let me know, oh, this is the next class. I literally had to keep up with everything. I had to make sure I went to lunch before lunch ended, before the cafeteria closed. I had to eat dinner before the cafeteria closed. So it was a lot of things that I had to keep up with that I was not used to doing. And it was like, it wasn't necessarily a culture shock because I was at a HBCU. I went to Coppin State University in Baltimore, Maryland. So it wasn't necessarily a culture shock, but it was a challenging experience. It was something that it took me a while to get into the swing of. And because I was so young and being in the honors program, I worked an on-campus job and I worked an off-campus job. In addition to being on the leadership board for other organizations on campus and off campus, doing work in the church. So I had a lot on my plate. So it seemed like doing all of these things, my body would literally like shut down in one way or another, where I would have to be like sat down, lay down, on bed rest, or just out of commission for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So the first time this happened was my first year, and I think it was second semester around finals time. I can't remember like exact dates because this was, when was this? I graduated in 2013, so this was 2008. So this was years ago, like over 10 years ago. Um, but being on a college campus, like my body would literally like, and I was always on the go, always doing something. And then I was partying. Not only was I, keeping up with my academics, I was partying, I was drinking, I was outside, I was like hitting all nighters. A lot of nights I was hitting all nighters. It was a crazy experience, and I'm glad that I lived to see another day because there were times and experiences that I had on campus, off campus, around campus that I could have, it could have been another way. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I did definitely have experiences that could have gone another way where I wouldn't have been able to go home or go back to campus after those experiences. Excuse me, being blackout drunk, like drunk out of my mind, blacking out, and like still being outside, going to different places, and not knowing what I was doing or who I was with. Thankfully, I had a pretty good group of friends that would make sure that I was good because I was the youngest. And then my friend, my now ex-husband, he did a lot of like taking care of me as well, and the guys that I was dealing with on campus. So my experience was definitely one that challenged me. It I grew up very fast at 17, having an experience with my health challenges. Not only the first year did that happen, I think it was a boil or an abscess that I had to get cut. I had to get surgery done on. The second year, my 18th birthday, when I was 18, I ended up getting shingles and they had no clue what the heck was going on. I still have like nerve damage here. So when I get my eyebrows threaded. So when I get my eyebrows threaded, like I can feel like it is very much more painful on this side because this is where the shingles was. Like literally my whole side of my face was like swollen up with the shingles. It wasn't on my body, it was on my face. And me being the type of person that I was very, very, very vain. Like when I tell you I used to do my hair every single day. I had my first year, I took so much stuff with me. It was ridiculous. Clothes, shoes, and I was a sneakerhead. Like I was a sneakerhead. I had probably 20 to 30 pairs of sneakers. Ridiculous. Like why do you need all of those sneakers on campus? Like hindsight being 2020, it was like I really did not need all of that stuff. But it was me being vain, me wanting to, impress people, all of those things. So I had the clothes, I had the shoes, and I did work. So probably every other pay period, I was getting me another pair of sneakers. So going home with all of that stuff, y'all, a headache, a whole headache. So if you are a college student, don't bring all that stuff. Do not bring all that stuff to college with you. It is not necessary, okay? And you give yourself and your parents or whoever is, bringing you back and forth a headache and a hassle trying to bring all of that stuff. Be as simple and minimized as possible, okay? Um, but my third year, I did 5 years because I did a dual degree program. I got a degree in chemistry and I got a degree, well, general chemistry and biology. So I was there for 5 years instead of the regular four. Um, and it seemed like literally every year that happened. I don't remember what it was the third year, but I ended up getting put out of the honors program because I fell behind because of my health challenges. Even though I had doctor's notes and all of that, I still ended up getting put out of the honors program because they felt like I should have been prepared for it to happen because it would happen every year. But I was literally a teenager still. So I feel like a lot of the college life, we get put into adulthood prematurely. And that was really my experience. Like, it's not like full on adulthood, but it's like you go from your parents taking care of you, doing all of the things, whatever the case may be. Like, my parents didn't pay for any of my college. They did give me money and stuff for food and did got groceries for me every probably once or twice a month. But other than that, everything was me. And it was a lot. Like, it was a whole lot. It was definitely a whole lot. I will say more, it was more preparation for the real world than I would have gotten had I not been on a college campus. Um, but I, I think I wish I would have probably been a commuter because it would have just been a lot easier and a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper, okay? If you can do a community college and commute, I, I would definitely say to do that. I did meet a lot of amazing people. Um, I joined my sorority, Alpha Nu Omega Sorority Incorporated, while I was on campus, a Christian sorority and fraternity. That was an experience. I still have, people that I keep in contact with from there. Um, but college, college is really what you make it, and the people that you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with good people, it'll be a good experience. If you surround yourself with not so good people, it'll be a not so good experience. Um, it's not many people that I still, associate myself with from college, but I do have a lot of memories, a lot of positive memories with the people that I, came across in college. But I would definitely say college at 17 was definitely, and it was me and I think one other girl that was 17 at the time. Um, yeah, it was a different experience. I think I would have made a lot. I don't know if I would have made different choices if I was 18 instead of 17, being on a college campus. There was some level of guidance or some level of rules and structure, but just that transition from high school to college. I think I did the summer program, so that was another way to help prepare me for the transition. It wasn't the complete and full experience, but it helped to ease my transition into the college life. So if you or your college student has the opportunity to do that, I would definitely say to do that, as well as tap into the on-campus resources or get them a therapist before they go off to college, because it can be a traumatic experience. It can definitely be a culture shock. It can be uh, a hit to your self-confidence, because for me, like I said, I was used to being a straight A student, but that curriculum from high school and below is completely different from college, especially being in the honors program. So for me that was a traumatizing experience, and it did give me a hit, a blow to my self-confidence when it came to my education, because I was so used to getting straight A's, but it wasn't as easy. It didn't come as easy as high school and below for me. Um, um, Boys. Free co-ed dorms are dangerous. They are very dangerous, okay? Especially for somebody like me that had the experiences that I had prior to going on campus. It was like, it was insane. The level of hypersexual sexual activity that can go on a co-ed college campus dorm building. Um, but I was pretty much, I think I feel like I've always been like a monogamous person, but my trust issues and being an Aquarius, it's like two different. It's like a dichotomy when it comes to being an Aquarius and being a manifesting generator. It's like I had this experience where I wanted to be monogamous, only wanted to be with one person, especially sexually. It's unsafe. Okay, it's unsafe to be with more than one partner, especially even more so now. But on the college campus, it's dangerous because, and being in the dorms, because you got a certain number of people and everybody sleeping with everybody. Drunk, parties on campus, parties in the dorm rooms, parties off campus, parties like around. It's like so many things can go wrong. And for me, I wanted to have one partner, but I did have a boyfriend off campus. But of course, he didn't drive at the time, and I didn't drive, so we didn't really get to see each other. And he was like an hour or so away, so we didn't really get to see each other. So I had an off-campus boyfriend and an on-campus situationship. Okay, had one my first semester, one the next semester. Um, and I think I really don't remember the timeline, but it was like I dealt with multiple guys while I was on campus in college, but it wasn't my intention. I really didn't want to be with multiple men. I wanted to have a significant other, but it just, I was in a on and off again abusive relationship, and I didn't have the willpower or the strength to really just let him go and say, you know what, this isn't going to work. And I feel like I did more damage to him than good by us being on again, off again. And I was very honest. I've always been a very honest person. Like when I cheated, or if I was going to cheat, I would let him know. But mostly with him, I was his first. So it was like, I really ain't want to, I wanted to keep him around because he was only mine. Um, but I did more damage to him than good by, and if you ever watch this video, I'm not gonna say your name. I'll call you C. Just know that I truly, from my heart, apologize for all of the hurt that I caused you. It was never my intention. I was broken. I was hurting my own self and didn't know how to navigate relationships at that age with the trauma that I had experienced. No, I'm not making excuses, but this is my perspective of it. I hadn't dealt with the trauma from childhood or my adolescence. So for me, I was a broken person in a relationship with you, and I broke you. So if you ever watch this video, or if anybody knows him and knows who I'm talking about, just let him know that I really apologize, and I hope that he has forgiven me if he, hasn't yet, or that he can forgive me if he hasn't yet. But yeah, with my trauma and trust issues, it was really hard for me to settle down, especially with the one guy. Even though that was really what I wanted. But college, like I said, it was like I was like a kid in a candy store, and being so vain, I've always felt like I was a beautiful girl. Well, not always, but like at that point in time, I was confident enough to feel like, oh, I'm a beautiful girl. I can have who I want. I was a hot mess. Okay, I was a hot mess. But shingles definitely humbled me in more ways than one. Okay, and I think after that was when I really like stopped being so vain and stopped like doing too much when it came to my clothes and shoes. And even now, I wish I was more like when I see certain people and the way that they dress, it's like I wish I could get back to it, but it's just not in me no more. I'm not going. It's not in me right now. And then being a mom, that's a whole nother thing. Like I'm not a material girl no more. Um, but there are definitely pros and cons to going off to college early. Of course, I still finished going off to college at 17 and taking 5 years. I didn't finish quote unquote late. Um, Being close enough to home was another benefit because I could go home on a regular ish basis. Once I got my car, or once my boyfriend got his car, I could go back and forth. I could see him. And then having older friends on campus with cars. Yeah. But I think that's it. But if you have any questions about my college experience, you want to know more details, or if you want to know, anything else about the food or anything about Coppin State University where I went, um, just ask, drop it in the comments, and I will answer your questions. I'm an open book. I am a open book. If you haven't read the first edition of my book, it's All in Me, My Journey to Freedom and Living Abundantly. It is on Amazon. A lot of my college experience is in there as well, so you can go to Amazon and search for Jaleesa Hardy, or it's All in Me, Jaleesa Hardy, or you can go to my website, jaleesahardy.com, and you can get a copy from there. Um, but that's all I have. I checked in and I am complete. I talked about the boys. I talked about my education. I talked about my experiences, some of my experiences, the wildness of my experiences, the dichotomy and the duality of being an honor student, but also partying and drinking and doing a whole bunch of things that I shouldn't have been doing. I even believe that I had a miscarriage while I was on campus, but it wasn't confirmed medically. I just know that was a different experience with a bleed than I've ever had. Um, but yeah, that's all, folks. Just remember, um, as always, I say I love you. I see you. I'm so proud of you. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are enough just as you are. You are born worthy. You are born enough. You are born valuable, limitlessly, and no person, experience, or anything can take away or add to that. All right. So remember that going into this new year, if you don't see me again before the end of the year, I don't think I have any more lives to do. I might do some vlogging, but if I don't see you again before the end of the year, if I don't post or share anything before the end of the year, Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2025. I do have one more event before the end of the year, and that is my single mom society social, and that is tomorrow night. And I do have an event that I'll be attending with another meetup group. But other than that, I would just be focusing on preparing for the new year and doing what I need to do in order to hit the ground running. Well, I'm not gonna say hit the ground running because I'm not trying to run. I'm not trying to grind. I'm not trying to hustle in 2025. I really want grace, ease, peace, and flow in 2025. My word for 2025 is aligned, and my word for this month is to shine. So I'm gonna keep shining. I'm definitely keep shining in 2025. I'm gonna shine even brighter in 2025. Okay, so all right, y'all. I know this was Well, my story times are usually longer anyway. Freedom Fridays, I try to keep to 15, 20 minutes. But this wasn't too long. But I hope y'all enjoyed this story. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them in the chat and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, y'all. Peace.